Laptop. Laptop, why are you showing me an NFL emblem and Netflix had streaming ellipses instead of the weather? I only want the weather in that spot. Why are you showing me this? See, my desktop knows what I want. It has 0 degrees Celsius on here. It knows I don't care about anything except the weather. It's all I want out of you. Don't tell me about the rest of the world. I don't care. Anyway, hello. It's stream time. And it is Christmas Eve. It's December 24th. I would normally be playing Cyberpunk today because it's Tuesday. One moment. Okay, I'm back. Alright, where was I? Right, yeah, so... Normally this would be Cyberpunk, but unfortunately we can't have a very tense moment today, as somebody holds a gun to our head in some capacity, as seems to be the norm in Cyberpunk. And instead, we are going to be playing the, more relaxing game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Less stress in this one. They hold you at gunpoint a little less in this game. Though, of course, this being the 24th, that does mean I have the danger of potentially dying because, as we all know, if you're awake at midnight, Santa Claus does kill you. So, I do have a very hard time limit before I am killed. So, thankfully, of course, it's a very casual run of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Because, yeah, I'm fine with using save states sort of just whenever. I don't want to use them, all the time, but, I'll just throw them out if I'm at the start of the stage or think I'm going to be mildly inconvenient soon. That sort of thing. And I already have all the Super Emeralds, so instead of hearing a lot of the good music of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, we'll be hearing that sort of thing. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 experience, really. Alright, well, I guess, let's switch over to the Sonic 3 window so I can pull this up. So I can open the ROM, because Gens, for some reason, I don't think has a, pause emulation option. But we have to hear this. But let me just see, under CPU, I can only see hard reset, reset 6800, and reset Z80. And I don't know what any of that means. So the only other way to pause this seems to just be holding this window open, or maybe there's a hotkey, I don't know. Either way though, Sonic 3 time. So this is also, of course, the Reminisce stream, where I think about the various things that happened during or have happened. Happened in the past, not conceptually. Not using present tense to imply that this is just an every year thing. It's very different. Right, so, I feel like it's easier for me to start with non-LP stuff. I do have my playlist pulled open elsewhere so I can see those. So I can remember when things happened. But, in terms of outside of LP and stream stuff, it's pretty easy for me to nail down what I played. I didn't actually look at my, Steam recap. Because I just didn't. Probably should, might be neat, but I simply have not. Did look at my Nintendo recap, though, and that was, far shorter than Steam would be. Because I apparently did not play with my Switch for most of the year. Not until I started going through the Xenoblade games, because I thought, I've only ever beaten 1. And, I kind of want to beat 3, but also, I want to play 2 as well. I've seen 2, but I haven't played it. And I am of the belief that playing a thing is far different than just watching it. So it's a different experience, and, I feel like I'm correct about that. that thought. Because I'm, actually experiencing it for myself now. But I did actually start with Future Connected, apparently in October. Again, pretty easy to nail down. I did not play a lot of Switch games this year, which seems incorrect, but also I can't think of a way to argue with it. I cannot think about how that would be wrong. It makes total sense. It's just like, oh, huh. Yeah, I guess I didn't use my Switch much this year. It'll be getting a lot more use though, since I've gone specifically for Xenoblade. But yeah, no, damn it. Why'd I go for that? I don't want that. Well, it doesn't really matter. Either which way, I'm gonna be losing that shield. Gotta get the water shield tutorial. But anyway, yeah, though, like, started in October, pretty easy to nail down. Started, Future Connected. I have to be careful not to call it Future Redeemed, that's a completely different thing. But, yeah, I enjoyed that well enough. It was kind of a nice return to Xenoblade, the first one. I don't know if it'd be more or less enjoyable to, like, just have finished Xenoblade 1 and then go to it, but I don't know, I feel like it actually worked more because I've been there I've been away from the game for a hot minute. Because it really is kind of just a nice revisit to the world and some of its characters. But also, it works sort of like Xenoblade 1, but also has slightly different mechanics and spots that may have been sort of frustrating had I, played Xenoblade and immediately dove into this. If I ever LP or stream the Xenoblade games, that's probably gonna be how I cover it. Just, for matter of convenience and keeping everything kind of close together. Just press this switch again. Completely redundant, I've already drained the water. But yeah, in terms of Xenoblade though, yeah, like, very, very bare-bones story. It's mostly just there for you to get some extra time with Shulk and Melia. And also, one of the children of Ricky, you did not know you wanted her to be a full-fledged character, but no, actually, she's pretty great, so... I'm glad they had a slightly distinct Nopon in that game. And then just decided, okay, yeah, you know what? Actually, she's a major character in this one. But I don't really have much to... Oh, that worked out, I guess. Yeah, no, like, I didn't 100% it. Because I mostly want to get to the new stuff. I'm not looking for mastery of the DLC, so I didn't wind up beating the super boss because I just looked at it. I looked at it that it was like level 90, and I'm like, no, I don't feel like grinding. I also didn't really bother with most of the unique monsters either. I basically got the ones I needed for, some of the arts upgrades and called it good enough, and I had an easy enough time with the final boss, so... I'm not getting a second there. You're not fooling me, Robotnik. Not going for it. But yeah, so, I don't know a lot about, kind of the mastery of that game. I'll also say, very good heart-to-hearts, or, I think there were quiet moments in that game. They just felt like calling him something different, which, sure, whatever. Doesn't matter that much. Alright, let's see if I can get this. Of course I can. Tails fucking died. Can I get Knuckles on screen? No, I can't. If I were Tails, I could fly up to him, but alas. Whoop. Kind of just tripped and fell into Hydrosity's zone. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of just it. Well, I didn't, beat the super boss. I did beat, I think, all of the, other missions, so I beat the... Not super boss, but, you know, the guy who... is tougher than most enemies, but kinda still beatable, if you're not fully optimized. Oh, ah, really? You jerk. I'll never call it Hydro City. That's less cool than Hydrosity. Is that an actual word? No. Do I care? No. That particular character you're talking about, however, I don't know if it really went that in-depth in that sort of direction. Feel like it's obvious that that was a character who was kind of broken by the system he was in, but didn't really have a... oh, crap. a good way of going about it. But they didn't really dwell on him too much, so he's not really particularly sympathetic, and screw it. I don't have my shield, I'm just gonna go for it. Ah, darn it. But anyway, yeah, Xenoblade 2. Very, very strange, game overall. Not gonna say bad, it just does a lot, and it really is front-loaded with some of its slower aspects that are harder to kind of wrap your head around. Like, I get what they're going for in a lot of places, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. Like, yeah, okay, you start the game without a blade. So you kind of get to see, like, how it is to be somebody in this world who has to fight without a blade, and, yeah, no, it's kind of slow. You don't have a lot of options, you don't really get to do that many things. And then you meet a guy who actually can use a blade, and also a guy who's just really good naturally. And also Nia's there too, but she's very normal in comparison. It's like, ah, okay. So this is what Rex is missing out on. And then they drip feed content, or mechanics rather, for the rest of the game, and, you know, I'm at the point where it feels like it's actually kind of set in place. Like, starting to get, rare blades. They let me have 3 blades equipped. And so, like, the mechanics actually feel like they have a flow to them. So yeah, I get why people bounce off of Xenoblade 2. There's also the whole thing of, like, the pouch items are a major component of the game. And, you know, it's just kind of hard for people to wrap their heads around using consumable items the way the game demands you to, because most games don't want you to do it like that. And I think just pack rat mentality kind of keeps it where it's like, I don't want to constantly be using items. If I use that item, I won't have it. And what if I need it later? But no. No, you just have to use the pouch items. It's fine, it's actually fairly easy. I've just been looking up the rare blades and what they like, so I can have the affinity. And then that's fine, whatever. But in terms of plot, though, definitely pretty solid so far. I think it is more solid than some people give it credit for. A lot of people also kind of bounced off of the character design, and that one I get less... I don't know, I get what people mean when they say, like, oh, Xenoblade 2 is so much more anime than Xenoblade 1. Like, I sort of get what you're going for, but that's also kind of a dumb statement. Like, it's all anime. Even Xenoblade 1 is anime. It's made in Japan. But yeah, it's a lot more bright and colorful, kinda a little more typical of anime type things. And some people kinda prefer the style of the first game. I can respect that well enough. Like, okay, yeah, Xenoblade 1 definitely had a unique look. But I don't mind Xenoblade 2 that much. And I think overall the character design's fine. And you know, ignoring that, the story they tell is pretty good. I'm trying to dance around spoilers, since it's a thing I didn't LP or stream. It's one of those, hey, if you want to, you know, experience this for yourself, it does have a good plot that I don't want to delve too much into. But I think... everybody knows that Mythra and Pyra are characters, right? Everybody knows they both exist. We've all played Smash Brothers, we know that they're both there on the same character. Because I think... obviously there's a lot more game to go, but, you know, I'm several hours in. So I've got a lot of Pyra moments, but I feel like Mythra's introduction is really good. I think she's pretty strongly characterized. Though I also feel like I'm kind of glad I watched this game first, so I sort of know all the beats ahead of time, and I can observe the game that way. Like, yeah, there are gonna be fewer surprises other than the things I've forgotten. And again, having experience for a thing yourself, always different. Ah, damn it. Bad timing on that. But, it is kind of cool to sort of already know what Mythra's deal is and be like, oh, okay. Just the way she acts and the way Pyra acts is actually pretty well done so far. Even though I'm only as far as the first time you, like, get properly switched to Mythra. You get to see her once before, but I've just hit the point where it's like, okay, yeah, now use her for more than just a boss. Oh, well, hypersonic time. But yeah, on one hand, surprise can lend itself well to a story, you know. How dare you, Tails? How dare you? Yeah, actually I got to a big foreshadowing moment, like, really recently, where it's like... I knew something was up in a very innocuous scene, but now I know exactly what they're talking about. Like, it is, I hesitate to call it a bath scene, it is a scene that happens in a bath, but I feel like there are certain expectations, that kind of scene. It doesn't have any of that. Just so happens the characters are in a bath, which is significant, because characters... one person notices something about it, the other, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what that is now. Hindsight probably was pretty obvious in the moment, but, you know. Now I just know. Wait, why did I do that? I don't need to jump out of the way, I've got a shield. But yeah, at this point, I'm pretty much just waiting until... I get my next party member to really start focusing on getting blades and actually paying attention to my builds more. Because the next character is probably one of my favorite characters, at least play in terms of mechanics. Playing her is pretty good. She's an archetype I like, you know. Technically speaking, anybody can be a tank in Xenoblade 2 just because of the way the game works, but, you know, dodge tanks I tend to like. Though in games they, you know, don't always work well if evasion isn't actually as good a stat as you want it to be. But no, it's pretty solid in Xenoblade. Proof is, A, the fact that Mythra is based on being dodgier. That's her whole thing. That's the whole thing with Foresight. It gets you evasion bonuses, but yeah, no. dodge tanks I tend to like, so yeah, there's that. One of the main characters is dodgier, but also playing Xenoblade 1, which, you know, mechanically is different, but they did a dodge tank well. 7 is probably one of my favorite characters to play in that game. Because in terms of design, they're very cool. Even if they wouldn't agree, I'm gonna keep this one. But also, yeah, no, just dodge tanks and crits, that was, yeah, that was 7's whole deal. It was just, hey, do you like crits? Do you like evasion? Cool, that's this character. So, sorry, I'm slightly distracted by actually playing and talking, but it's going back to the hot springs thing. Maybe, really? That counted? Maybe my perception is colored because I have been watching Ranma 1/2 recently, so, you know. I'm sort of, more in tune with that. that sort of path. I'm used to there just being a creep. just there and kind of ruining the mood, but no, there's no Hipposai in this game. It's not here to make everything worse. But yeah, anything else about Xenoblade 2? Again, I'm trying not to... I guess I just need this. Oh, and it's mini-boss time. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into it since I didn't stream or LP it, so I don't really want to discuss the story that much. It's kind of a story-based game, but... I'm still fine with Tora for reasons that, again, I can't really get into without spoiling the game, but... he's fine. Look, I think Tora's whole big problem is the fact that, you know, maybe he didn't ever expect to make friends, so he's gonna come off as kind of awkward in ways. Alright, I'm gonna be careful around Eggman here. Yeah, you just go away, don't hit me. Thanks. Alright, but yeah, I guess, oh. I never get that one. I never remember that's there. Yeah, I guess that's, you know, not everything I played on my own, but, you know, everything of relative import that I want to talk about on a stream. So, I'm gonna have to pull up... oh, that's gonna go bad. Bad timing there. Didn't really have good timing there either, but I made it work. But yeah, I pulled up my playlists, and I remember the things I don't really need to talk about, because, like, the earliest things in 2024 were Metroid Zero Mission and Mega Man Network Transmission, but both of which are only 2024 out of technicality, but I think both had, like, one episode in the year 2024, and that was more or less it. But yeah, I probably already talked about those in the last Sonic 3 stream, so I don't need to talk about them again. Because really, like, what would I have to talk about? I think that was probably just... the last... ah, darn it. The last boss for Zero Mission, and... I think I did, like, 2 streams pretty close to each other for Network Transmission, because I think I finished and then... just said, I'm gonna... do this on a different stream slot to finish. I think I did base pretty soon after I actually finished, so... I do have to mention, of course, the fact that a guy gets fucking doxxed. That's how the main villain of Network Transmission goes down. You know, you beat the life virus, and then he's just like, haha, but as long as evil lurks in the hearts of man, I'll still have this life virus backup data. And then he actually gets doxxed by the virus you turned into a NetNavi. He just gets hauled off to jail. It's so good. So dumb, it's so good. But yeah, otherwise I'm sure I talked enough about those. Network Transmission is a game that probably wanted me to invest more time into it. to make it a little less, difficult to get through. I think it wanted me to grind for more battle chips, but I didn't really feel like engaging with it that much. It was okay, but not my favorite game. I probably won't play it again. Unless I, have nothing else to do and want to do a non-com version of it, but Been a while since I did anything non-com specific, really, so unlikely to actually happen. Oh, here he comes. It's Eggman. Alright, now the tricky part about having hypersonic here is the fact that I do kind of have a need of having him for as long as possible, just because of the way the boss works, but I think 75 seconds should probably be enough for this. Alright, so let's see. Almost at the boss, and then I can switch open the other window, so I can actually see what the heck the next thing was. Now, obviously, due to the nature of YouTube playlists, this isn't going to be in the exact order of things that I played. It's gonna be a little out of order. But it'll mostly be in the correct order. Oh, of course, first thing on there, directly above, I do remember. Next thing listed is Mega Man X5, which, in fairness, did actually start January 1st, 2024. So yeah, Mega Man X stuff. It feels kind of weird talking about Mega Man X5, because I kind of did already. I kind of already did do that for, the wrap-up video. But I guess I'll talk about it again. It's a game that now that I'm far away from playing it, I respect to a certain extent. Like, it did neat things and it was going for a tone. And I can respect that much. I did not like playing it that much. I think it's a bit of a mess. Well, I don't know, maybe even mess is overstating it, but it is not exactly the... It's awkward, that's the best way to put it. It is an awkward game to play. Not necessarily bad. Oh god, I actually didn't want to do that. I was just jumping badly. Alright, let's just get this, and then we can collect rings. Ooh. What's up here? Oh, just more rings. There's a big ring, too. Which I'll need because I definitely do want to... Oh, wait, no, oh. Damn it, I despawned it. I want to unhyper... But yeah, no, like, mechanically, it is honestly one of the better, like, video games that try to put across an apocalypse. Like, obviously, it's not Majora's Mask level, because that game is a bit more mechanically sound. It's a bit better put together, less awkward, and does really have a good drive of, like, what are people like when the world's about to end? And, like, every storyline in that game is fascinating. So yeah, it's not Majora's Mask, but it's kind of hard to be Majora's Mask, but yeah, in terms of games about an upcoming apocalypse, I feel like X5 actually does a pretty good job. It does try to make you feel like you have, you know, some time pressure. I still love the idea that Mega Man X4 really comes into play. Like, just, the sins you have committed have annoyed everybody, and now nobody's really being cooperative. Even though they really should be, but nobody wants to help the Maverick Hunters. I think it's just a fascinating thing. That, you know, plays like Mega Man X4, but with more inconveniences, which means that X4 is still very clearly, by far, the better, like, just sit down and play game. And honestly, X4 was the previous year. That was 2023, but I should just say again, X4, very solid game, one of my favorites. Actually, kind of on par with X1, which is impressive, because X1 is also really good. But yeah, like, they do that. I feel like a few edits would have been good. I still feel like standard ending as it is not ideal in terms of its storytelling. Like, Zero refusing to take his meds is just simply not an interesting reason for him and X to fight. And so that kind of dampens the whole thing they were sort of leading up to for a few games of, oh man, X and Zero are gonna have to fight one day. But the bad ending, which is non-canon because X does not— God damn it. That was incredibly not what— You know what? All for invincibility— No, I can go without that. I'm gonna try that again, that was terrible. All that time, and to just get immediately owned. No, I'm good. But yeah, no, like, Zero finally having the Wily part come back to bite him and awaken him, that's good. I feel like it's not a hot take to say, like, the combination ending is the best. I don't think I'm certainly not the first person to put the events together the way I did, where Zero awakens, but he doesn't die, and in a way that, like, forces Light to make X forget Zero existed. And he can never learn about Zero ever. It's just impossible for him. X, what's 1 minus 1? I don't know. 2 minus 2? There's nothing there. Stop asking me. But yeah, I could almost say for certain somebody else probably did the same thing I did on YouTube at some point. I've not checked, but, like, it's a safe assumption. Somebody remixed that. They had to have. Also, it's really amazing that I'm not more disappointed that their decision to, like, not kill off Sigma for good in that game, or like, it played out like that. Because A, I'm gonna be honest, until I looked up surrounding information for the game, I didn't realize that was supposed to be, like, supposedly a permanent Sigma death. So, you know, Sigma coming back in X6 wasn't really a huge shocker or a disappointment to me. But also, skipping ahead a little bit, but goddamn, I do not like— Did I backtracked by accident, whoops. Goddamn, I do not like Gates, and I have zero qualms with him getting usurped as the villain of that game. It's not even a particularly— Oh wait, no, actually, no, that is the game with zombie Sigma, so actually, never mind, that's a decent Sigma. It's X7 that I didn't like as— God damn it, as much. Okay, Tails, really? Come on. I needed those. But yeah, X5 is, I think, a game I'm gonna remember more fondly than I have a fondness that I didn't necessarily have when playing it. But now that I'm not playing it, I'm like, yeah, no, actually, those were some cool ideas. And I'm just glad I don't have to play them anymore, per se. I would have liked to see a version of X5 that was a bit neater, and I mean— Oh, I should have done that. I should have jumped into the ring, because this is gonna take a hot minute. But yeah, there was already the hack, so technically speaking, I did play a slightly cleaner version of it already. Making, getting power-ups less annoying and whatnot definitely improved the game a lot. I think I would have had an even less good time playing it had I actually had to engage with the fact that you really can only use one character. It's not until X8 where they make playing multiple characters tolerable. Alright, well, let's see. I will need to go to the next page when I get back, but I'm also worried about doing this in a timely manner. This is one of the longest stages in the game, even if you sort of know what you're doing. And let's collect these, because the barrel's also gonna take me a minute. Whoop! Shit. Well, while I switch over, I'm just gonna load state. Alright, oh, was that okay, I actually do have to... Hold on a sec, let me pause. Can I get dates on these? Because Phoenix Wright Justice for All is in here, which means... let's see, what was... Okay, so start of January was the end of... Case 2. Oh, man. Having to go back to Phoenix Wright's Justice for All. The problem is I don't really feel like I would have that many more opinions on it in comparison to discussion at the end of that one, but... I guess... I will mention, I do love the end of Case 2. I distinctly remember when I was a kid and, you know, before I actually played the games myself, and I was just, you know, reading them. Before playing the game properly, just managing to guess the whole car thing, and I was very proud of myself when I was a kid, that I managed to do that. Like the whole twist with a car. So, I guess I do have that distinct memory. But yeah, Justice for All is... certainly an interesting game. I don't think Case 3 quite drags it down as much as people tend to think it does. And I'm still of the opinion that, like, there are parts of Case 3 that are iffy, and probably on purpose, but also still not in a particularly interesting way. Like, yeah, it's probably supposed to be weird that all these characters, goddammit, are pining for Regina. But that still doesn't make it any more comfortable to have to deal with. And again, not in a particularly interesting way. I feel like it's one of those... I'd prefer that to kind of just be brief and not have to deal with it for too long. But yeah, most of Case 3 kind of comes down to Ben and Trilo. Just the ventriloquist character who just really sucks. Like, he's not fun, he's not funny. Trilo's just an asshole puppet, but none of the jokes are particularly land. Yeah, he's most of the source of what sucks about everybody pining for Regina. Because at least everybody is a little closer to her age. And they have complicated feelings about the character herself. I think that's probably the most important thing, is that, oh shoot, it was Acro who is the character you actually see, right? That's his brother. Whoop, damn it. I don't think I can get to that. Whoops. But yeah, Acro is a very interesting character. And definitely a good tone setter for the final case. I do appreciate what he does in the moment. And overall, he's just very important. Yeah, but it's not nearly as bad as God, in comparison... Ben's just so bad. That's just how bad of a character he is. It's like... It's kind of weird for everybody else, because yeah, she was, I think, 16? And also, kind of acts even younger than that, because her dad kind of sucked. Sucked in some ways, but was a good person in others. People contain multitudes, that's sort of an important lesson in Phoenix Wright Justice for All, so you know. Not perfect, but he did do good things. He's not just an awful, awful person. And, yeah, no, Case 4 is just completely fantastic. That one, even though Justice for All is kind of known as the weaker game of the series, everybody loves Case 4, and people typically consider it one of the best in the series. It does kind of work standalone, it's interesting enough and has enough cool beats in it that it does, but also it does just work better as a thematic end to Justice for All. You know, there are many things that make you realize that Justice for All is a very ironic name. Alright, it's this part, so... you know, I think it works. You do need to play the rest of the game first for maximum effect, I think is the best way to put it. I know, Case 3, but come on. You can put up with it. But yeah, no, just fantastic villain, great plotline. It's just a really solid case. Deserves its reputation. This is one of those, I don't really think I really have to tell you that much, huh? Everybody probably already has an opinion on it, and... yeah, no, I remain unchanged since I played it back in... oh god, now I actually have to scroll to the bottom. Started this in January, when did the stream end? See, now I have to check. It'll drive me crazy. Okay, April, so yeah, up till April. So yeah, it was... I think I overall had more fun. It was kind of an a fun exasperation, a little exaggerated for, Case 3. You know, sometimes you just kind of have to have fun with the thing that is not great when you're experiencing it. You gotta poke fun a little bit. So let's see. Oh, after that, I've got Saints Row listed. So yeah, oh crap. Was not paying attention. Can I get a new shield from here? Which sparklies is this? Okay, good, it's the useful... no, wait, no, I completely forgot which song this is. This is, in fact, the worst sparkly I could have possibly gotten. Oh well, whatever. But anyway, yeah, 2024 kind of wound up being the year of long projects, in that I'm still gonna be playing Saints Row past, or the series past this year. But, you know, Saints Row 1 probably gonna be the shortest of the LPs, just because I didn't really do that much exploring in it. I gave a lot more breathing room to Saints Row 2, because I, you know, went into that going like, okay, this is the game I like. I will say, I do have more respect for Saints Row 1 as a game. I think it is not too bad. It's just... all the other games are kinda way better. Oh god. I won't count that as like a cool glitch, but, you know... something happened. I didn't mention at the start of the stream, because it really hasn't come true. But you know, there was a time period where every time I played this on my yearly playthrough, before streaming it, I'd get like a new unique glitch every year. But... yeah, that hasn't really happened. Like, I think the year before I started streaming this, that was the year I got Obsidian Tails. Which is Tails just kinda glitched into the frozen waterfall in Lava Reef, or Lava Fall, rather. No, I think I've been playing on gens for years. I'm trying to remember, was I playing on Kega? I don't think Kega's, like, significantly worse. That is a fair question, though. Could also just be, yeah, maybe I did update gens at one point. I'm a little slow to update emulators half the time, but, you know, When I move computers, at least, I will upgrade emulators, though. It'd start before I got the good computer. That was last year. I've been doing this for... Is this the 3rd or 4th year I've done this stream? Well, I don't remember. Either way, though. Saints Row, though, so... Yeah, I like that game more than I thought I would. Again, that's a pretty prime example of the difference of just watching a thing and actually playing it. Oh, shit. Really? I'll keep going. I'll be fair. Did save state recently, but I will not save state or save load yet. But yeah, like, watching the cutscenes, I was never really impressed with the original Saints Row. But I think, kinda playing the game at... really? I'll try this again. Playing the game at a pace for LP, I think really kinda helped. I think I definitely have... more respect for the main story. Not so much for the, activity cutscenes. I feel like those are... kind of the worst parts of the game. Just the least interesting or funny writing. But, yeah, otherwise, I feel like Saints Row does a pretty good job of kind of setting up its story, kind of going for a certain message. And kind of nailing the landing. Not 100%, but it did okay. It's just the main problem is I think the odd-numbered games are kind of a bump. And then the even-numbered ones are a spike. Because they're just really good. 2 and 4 are fantastic. Yeah, like, Saints Row tries to... Like, I think they mainly saved all the weirdness for the activities. But yeah, even 2 gets a little more silly than 1 does during its main cutscenes. It's just 3 and 4 go in a much different direction. That's very noticeable. But, yeah, you know the other thing that probably helps, though? I never quite, cared about the main character. The first game, Playa being a silent protagonist, as I've mentioned several times before, just not as interesting as what they do with the character in 2. If you've played 2 first, then yeah, no, that it's so underwhelming. But, I have to admit, it was pretty cool to actually just be able to straight up play a trans character. Like, inadvertently, of course, but, you can only play as a male character in the first game. And then in the second game, yeah, you don't have to wait or anything, you can just be a female character. I think my joke at the start of the game was, yeah, no, you just got hormones from the shrapnel or whatever. You just explode and suddenly you're a woman, wild. And I do also like that the joke probably hits a little better if you do something like that, just change your character completely, because yeah, everybody's saying, did you do something with your hair? And the more you change your character from the first game, the funnier it gets, but, I played true to what I wanted to do. Now, that's jumping ahead a little bit, but yeah, no, just having, once again, Gaunt, play, Sans hair. Because, they lived through an explosion. Oh, goddammit, Tails. Tails? Tails! Tails, I swear to God! Tails! Stop tripping the alarm! God damn it, Tails. He's still following me, Tails. This is on you. Okay, he's gone. Good. also want to read that, but I'm in the midst of the stage. So I'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, no, like, I did kind of enjoy being able to just play that up, like, okay, I know I'm gonna be playing as a woman later. And I always kind of had that in mind, with the boss. Like, yeah, no, you have to play as a male character in the first, so I guess, she's trans, but, you know, actually having to go through that, pretty cool. I like that. And yeah, I think one of my biggest problems, unironically, is just the fact that, plastic surgery is so expensive in that game that you really... It's ill-advised to change your character that often. And I couldn't do what I did in Saints Row 2, where I just did incremental changes to her weights, both for muscle and fats. I just had to kind of change it very suddenly midway through the game a few times. Okay, I have to not destroy a thing, right? Oh, no. I must be thinking of a different spot. Ah, well, I got an electric shield, so that's good. Ugh. Ah, darn it, he disappeared into the ceiling. Curses. Hey, Knuckles. Alright, well, there goes the building. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, no, I never... I was so happy that I could start calling her the boss again. The wiki keeps using Playa, and just has the boss as the, reboot character. But you know, she spent more time as boss, so... I feel like that's still kind of inaccurate, but yeah, no, like... I'm incredibly white. You can't just keep having me call this character Playa and not have it not sound weird. But yeah, if I had to do anything different with the Saints Row 1 LP, I think I actually would've done an uncut version. I sort of went in and started, you know, planning and editing, when I thought, you know, I'm not gonna like the story that much, but looking back, it's like, oh, actually, I probably should have given the game the same respect I gave to, later games. Like, yeah, no, there should be a version where I don't talk over the cutscenes. I think they're worthy. I think they're worthy of it. But I also don't, regret kind of, playing the short game with it. Ah, gumball machine, nice. Just what I wanted. I should probably go for water, because I haven't hit the water section, right? Much as I want electric. Well, okay. I'm gonna lose this in like 5 minutes. But, yeah, Saints Row 1 wasn't bad. I think they did a decent enough job. Again, I think just everything after it is better, and, you know, I've been recording footage for Saints Row the Third, and while 4 is the game I really like, of that pair, gotta say, definitely digging 3, I think more than 1, at least in terms of playing it. I really missed that engine, clearly. Yep, there goes the shield. I think it's a pretty solid engine, though. They did good with that one. Yep, nope. Gets me every time. Got me again, Sega. Go. Go. Let's see, what's next? Oh god, Code Vein? I didn't finish Code Vein until April, right. God, Code Vein feels like one that I finished in 2023, but nope, there it is. I put the dates on there and everything, didn't end until April. And I really don't have much to say about Code Vein. I think it might be the most in one ear out the other game I've ever played for either LP or stream. I don't like treating games as junk food. Or anything, really. I've never really been the turn your brain off for this type of person. I don't like that mentality, also. I don't like that laser gates. I passed it easily, but eh. Ah, see, I didn't pass the other one, though. Boop. I don't feel like dealing with that. But yeah, no, I've never really been a turn your brain off for things. And that's not to say I don't like things that are dumb fun, it's just I don't really interpret them as I cease thinking. Like, I'd probably have more to say about a Dynasty Warriors game than Code Vein. Ah, goddammit. No. I refuse. Which, you know, it sounds kind of insulting, but, you know, I feel like the good Dynasty Warriors, at least, you know— oh, that's gonna suck. Botched that one. I feel like the good Dynasty Warriors have a good thing going on mechanically, and it's not to say Code Vein didn't, like— I get what it was going for, but it's clearly not my thing, just— here's class-based, Dark Souls. And, of course, the story, yeah, no, plot-wise, I just didn't care about it that much. Nothing really clicked for me. I liked some of the characters okay, but I wasn't, like, overly enamored. I said, I like these characters, I guess I'll stick with them. And I fucking hate Jack, so I will hate him forever. He betrays me one time, and you know what? I will not stand for that. Yeah, look, I am glad I have a heal character. Really? I guess that kinda makes sense, but also— boop. Yeah, no, Rhododendron's good. I actually do genuinely like the character customizer. It's one of those that kinda just gives you a lot to work with, and I probably didn't use it to its fullest extent, but I made what I wanted to, and you know what? I made an evil character. Now granted, she didn't really get to be evil. You know, clearly we're supposed to just kinda be generic, heroic, silent protagonist. But no, I disagree. Shortly after the events of the game, she did go on to take over the world. I'm just gonna state that as canon. I forget, do you unhyper if you do this? You do, okay, cool. Bye, Tails. But yeah, no, I really don't have much to say about Code Vein. Again, it's just kind of a turn-your-brain-off game. I enjoyed it well enough, I just don't have anything to talk about. It was fine. Alright, oh god. Now here, speaking of, things that are kind of boring, Mega Man X6 is up next. Yeah, so— I enjoyed what X5 brought to the table, but X6 is very much a game that proves that one of the worst things you can do is be boring. You know, sure, some people will disagree with that mentality. So, you know, obviously they'll say X7 is the worst game, and under most circumstances, probably correct, but I think no matter what, X7 is just the more interesting game. Because— I played X6 with the hack, and even then— oh yeah, no, Tails just sort of falls into the abyss, because you get in the Egg-O-Matic, and they just didn't program Tails getting in with you, so he just perishes in that moment, and then he comes back. But yeah, like, X6, I guess there probably was pains for, you know, expecting X5 to be the last one and then doing another one. But it really was just kinda dull. I didn't like Gates, didn't really particularly like playing most of it. And while I do think it was cool that, you know, they put some effort into... they're kind of edgy, but I do appreciate it overall that they tried to give the Mavericks a bit more backstory. Again, it's a little edgy, but I think overall I'll just accept it, but yeah, no, like, after X4 and 5 were great thematically, you get X6 and it's just like, here's Gate, he's a necromancer, I guess. He's a Reploid necromancer, all these Reploids died. And under various circumstances, God damn it. Unfairly, sure, but, you know, they're evil now, so you gotta get rid of them. But yeah, it did not click with me whatsoever. Yeah, again, I had a hack for it, and it did not improve it enough for me to like the game that much. I could tolerate it, it wasn't the most frustrating experience thanks to the hack, but... still not a great time. And then immediately after that, in my playlist order, is X7, which... dang, this really was the year of long projects. Like, wow, we're already kinda catching up to the end. The wild thing about the X series is that, technically speaking, each series is kinda short. Like, they're all about 11, 12 episodes, but given the way I post them, they do take up a decent amount of the year, so like... yeah, no, X5 was the start of the year, and then came X6, but they feel so recent. It doesn't feel like I just played them. Or it doesn't feel like I played them a while ago. But yeah, no, after that was X7, and... yeah, thank goodness for that hack. I've said it so many times, but like, it's not gonna stop being true. It was a definite improvement to the experience, and it's still not the best game, but... I feel like it was a more interesting experience than 6 was. And it was kinda just that breath of fresh air. And honestly, overall, I kinda like Axel. I kinda like him as an addition to the crew. I've just been playing the X games, and I'm like, actually, no. I kinda dig Axel. It's not unfair to compare him to Scrappy, but also... I just like the team. It kinda feels incomplete now if Axel's not there. Gotta have the Holy Trinity. But yeah, no, X7 as a game... is... weird... and not exactly the most well thought out. Definitely has some things that could have used some ironing out. But with the spit polish of that hack, as always from 5 through 7, definitely, if nothing else, made it a less frustrating experience. And because of that, it kind of just got to be an oddity without being completely unwelcome. Also, I will say, still kind of, mixed about the story overall, I'd say. I like some of the presentation. Definitely a very boring, Sigma after the 6th game where they decided to make him a zombie. He's just too normal in this one, but otherwise, I liked, Axel's dealings with, his old mercenary bands. I think that was a decent setup for the game, especially since they decided, alright, that's enough apocalypse time, we're now officially, like, post-apocalypse. Stuff's being rebuilt, everything's fine now. Also, unironically, Flame Heinard is more of a draw than anything in X6. Is it good? No. No, that's not. That's an auditory nightmare. His entire fights. But like, people remember Flame Hyanard. He's got a bad reputation, but he does have a reputation. And you know what, sometimes that's... God, I cannot catch that thing. Sometimes that's what counts. Alright, anything else about X7? No, I think that's it, so let's see, what's after that? Oh, Betterfied 6 Bestified. So, I don't play a lot of, like, ROM hacky stuff for the channel, which kind of has its own definition, even though I have stated that I was, you know, playing the fan hacks for the X games, but that's different, you know? Like, yeah, those are hacks, but ROM hack is its own kind of, subcategory. And I feel like anybody with enough experience in the genre will just get it. And yeah, Betterfied 6 is a Smabex game, not a hack, but it has all the spirit of a ROM hack. But it was executed pretty flawlessly. Oh, well, there he goes. But yeah, I think it's just one of those things that really shows what you can do when... What's a way to phrase this that doesn't sound insulting? Because I want to say, when you don't give a fuck, but like... It is a Mario game, that absolutely... You know, at its base, obviously it's, you know, based on an engine that's based on Mario games, but like, you are never going to play a Mario game that's like Betterfied 6. It has its own way of going about everything, from its gimmicks, to its humor, and also its storytelling. Which is just, you know, not what you'd really expect from a game that really does seem just like its majority shitpost. It is nonetheless a fascinating thing, and probably, like... I'd say the overarching story is my least, or the part I'm least interested in of it, but that's just because I love the gameplay and the jokes of it so much. But yeah, like... It doesn't really have the same... It has no need to be consistent in what it does, and in fact... You know, like many a good ROM hack, it really doesn't give a damn about, like, drawing various, like, art pieces from different things. Like, right, like, you get the mix of sprites that, you know, sometimes ROM hacks care about, but other times they don't. And yeah, just the fact that they are... Ah, damn it. The fact that it uses just stuff from everything conceivable really works more to the game's favor. Like, yeah, obviously these things don't mesh well with a core art style, but that's kind of the point. Like, yeah, you just have bouldergeist.gif in the background of this level, and it's very clearly bouldergeist.gif, just kind of pulled, you know, very forcefully from Mario Galaxy. It's not a neat and tidy pull at all, but that's just part of it. It does resemble a shitpost very much, and that's just part of the energy, is just mismatched sprites. But yeah, no, it is a game about a man slowly losing his mind, and his brother trying to rescue him from it. But at the same time, Mario, who is in the fits of madness, does not recognize this, and instead sees a bizarre realm where his brother Luigi has asked him to kill Birdo. And Luigi blames him for this, and will not forgive him for it. But also Sin Man is there, and he isn't helping whatsoever. But yeah, it is a very strange piece that, admittedly, I did not expect to take so long for some reason. That one started April and ended in October. And I already knew, you know, it was a fairly long game. Like, I'd seen Raukow's LP of it beforehand. That's how I knew of it. And that also took a while. But yeah, for some reason, did not realize it would take till October. Even still, though, I did... Not to say I didn't enjoy my time, it's just... That was a long-term project that I did not realize would be a long-term project. But it is absolutely one that I'm glad I have under my belt. If only because I'll have a thing I did to point to, in case anybody asks me, like, hey, why do you keep saying, but do you remember how you got here? Now I can be selfish and say, well, ha ha ha, you can watch my stream playthrough of it. And I mean, you only really need to watch the first episode technically, but... They do manage to bring that back so well. So really should keep watching it afterwards, you know. Even if you see it once, it's not really enough. Can't just be mimetic from the first playthrough of that level. I mean, it kinda can, but... I like the follow-up jokes is what I'm trying to say. God, remember when there was a text adventure in the middle of that? Again, don't have to give a fuck. Like, even when Nintendo gets weird, they're not just randomly going to put a text adventure in the middle of their Mario game. This could kill me. But it didn't. Alright, so let's see, what is after that? Miscellaneous streams. God, what could have gone under miscellany this year? Well, I can check in a second, I just want to make sure I'm not in a position where I'm going to die horribly. What are these? These are like vents, right? They just look kind of weird. Okay, so what's under miscellaneous streams? I'm actually curious. What is under here? Okay, so wow. This really was a year of long projects, because, yeah, no, the only thing here was Prototype N. And I was like, was there anything else there? No. No, before that, it's just, the 2023 stream of this game. So yeah, that was the only thing that went in miscellany. And yeah, that's weird, because I feel like I should already be catching up with present day, but, again, long projects. And we haven't even talked about the long one, but that's because it, you know, is still updating, because I'm still working on it. So yeah, it's gonna be towards the top of the list. Alright, so let's see. What comes after that? Oh god, it scrolled me back up to the top. Oh wait, no, I must have scrolled myself back up to the top, because after that is Final Fantasy V. So yeah, that was also most of the year. And started... Oh yeah, that also started in January. I don't think that had too many hiatuses, it was just, you know... It was about a 30-episode series. Because it's an RPG and all. The RPG's gonna be kinda short, and in fact, I don't know if the one I'm playing currently, which, in fairness, I've already said I'm playing Command Mission, I don't know if that's actually gonna be 30 episodes. I won't spoil the length of it, but like, each chapter isn't actually that long. So, I don't think it's gonna be as much of an endeavor as Final Fantasy V, but yeah, no, Final Fantasy V LP, that was an enjoyable one to do, I will say. Because of course, I mean, in the first place, it's FF5, it's a fun game, it's just mechanically very good. It's just, hey... Remember the job system in the third game? Japan, who's the only one who got 3 and now 5. You know, for a very long time. But no, yeah, like... Hey, what if we took the job system from 3 and made it less annoying? And, like, made more of the jobs actually viable? Like, we're not just going to put a straight-up replacement for... White Mage and Black Mage in here, like we did for 3. You actually still kinda wanna use those. Because they're just going to be solid throughout the entire game. But yeah, no, well, I mean, I've said this a lot, but I was happy to, play the hack for this one as well. FF5 Advanced Classes. Because, you know, I really do think that's the thing that actually let me beat all the super bosses in the game. Like, I don't think I would have had as good a time with Omega and Shinryu if there weren't just the few changes there were that happened to coincide with how I was already building up the party. Oh, next off is Sandopolis. You fall directly into the sand, which also means I'm probably gonna save state more often, cause yeah, man, I don't like putting up with Sandopolis on a day where I wanna be more impressive, but yeah, no, I don't want to put up with this on the 24th. It's Christmas Eve, Sonic 3. I don't wanna do this. But yeah, you know what else was good about the FF5 LP? I don't think I ever really gave 5 cinematography enough credit. But it's actually extremely good. Like, yeah, no, that game actually just looks real good. It animates really well. I think there are just some points in certain LPs where things just sort of click for me. Like, the Einguide fight in, Suikoden. Like, that fight, I never really realized just how good the cutscene leading up to it was. Aw, really? Boo. Didn't give me iframes, how rude. But yeah, no, like, that's actually just a surprisingly sad fight for such a minor character. But I never really realized it until I LP'd the game. That it was actually just a really good scene. God, that rules so hard. I love that he calls back the fake name you give him, even if it's the ridiculous one. Kicks ass. That game had such a good tone at the end. I gotta play 2 at some point. I mean, I've played 2 personally, but, you know, for LP's purposes. What will stand out to me in an LP of 2 that didn't stand out before, but, anyway, though, yeah, that's Suikoden. I LP'd that one a while ago. That was back when I was still in college. But, yeah, anything else about Final... yeah, no, interrupted myself before I actually got to the point, but, the, Jizot scene, where he fucking explodes in the tower. Actually just done genuinely well. And like, I know, obviously, video games don't necessarily have to just emulate, things that happen in movies, to be considered, goddammit, good. God, so much slowdown too. Should I reset? I guess I'll keep trooping on for now. I won't like it, but I will. Yeah, no, the scene where he explodes in the tower, just generally well shot. And I think even... I don't think I'm somebody who disregards, like, older games, like SNES era. I'm definitely not too fond of, like, NES RPGs just due to, text limitations. Oh, wait, we have to keep going down, okay. Just, you know, due to text limitations, sprite limitations, I kinda have a hard time getting into them necessarily. But SNES RPGs, at least, I can usually do just fine, but I'm not somebody who necessarily underestimates them all the time, but I still feel like even still, Or, like, I don't disregard them, but I think I can still underestimate them from time to time, because, yeah, no, they had a good grasp of how to animate a scene. If you think about it, that's not really a surprising statement. Like, yeah, no, they're professional artists. They know what they're doing. They can animate well. That's not that huge a deal, but I don't know. I think just seeing something that is supposed to be on, originally on the SNES, just do a scene like that really does feel like they could remake it shot for shot in an anime. I don't know, just something about that really kind of wowed me in the moment. Though I will say, I did not need any, extra observation to appreciate the Galuf scene. Cry at that one every time. I do mean it. Because I cried to that scene like 3 times this year. Recording it, then doing the audio recording, and then doing the editing for it. I mean, less each time, but still, like, God, that scene hits hard every time. It's just so well done. Everybody remembers FF5 as, the fun, jovial game for the most part, but now that game did have some pretty solid, drama writing as well when it needed to. I still feel like they probably could have done more character writing. I think early on I mentioned, like, if I'd remake that game in a style, I wouldn't necessarily want, HD 2D, per se. I'm sure it would look fine, but I would want something that's, like, a little more model-based, like, kind of what they were trying to do for the DS games, but, for the original DS, the models weren't the best, so I would want something that, looks a little more solid, and I specifically said, like, something kinda looks like Mega Man Legends would be cool, just the way that game looks between both its colorful overworld and its sort of, like, darker, grayer dungeons, the moodier locations. I think that would just be a good style for what Final Fantasy V does. And I think the, Mega Man Legends, like, style of animation would be charming, too. That's absolutely a dream scenario. I really, truly don't think they would do that, but, I bring this up because, I don't really want a remake of 5 that much. I think the Game Boy Advance version of 5 still looks good, sounds good enough. And I mean, oh, come on, summon. Come on, Golem Awaken. There's the Pixel remasters, and I'm guessing they probably have better mixes of the music. I don't know, do they use the instrumentation of the SNES version, or do they also try to do their own thing? I actually haven't listened to that version. But yeah, no, Game Boy Advance version is mostly pretty solid. So, like, I'm not clamoring for a remake, but if they ever do remake it, I don't... That works on you? Okay, sure. But yeah, if they ever did do a remake, I would absolutely want them to just give us more character moments. Take a page from Xenoblade, just give us heart-to-hearts with all the characters so we can get more writing. Because I want to spend more time with those characters. And I think especially after having, 5 weeks of having to do, audio recording and editing for the bonus dungeon, and even longer to actually record the raw footage for it, boy, I miss those characters, because the bonus dungeon really does not give you any of that. Oh, goddammit, really? Ugh, jerks. The characters react to the fact that they're being pulled into, the whirlpool. Actually, Bartz reacts to it, and that's it. It's really kind of disappointing. So yeah, I spent quite a while afterwards, playing Final Fantasy V, not really interacting with the parts of Final Fantasy V I liked, and, thinking back, that's kind of a bummer way to end that LP. I don't think it came across that way. I was not actively depressed for that being the whole situation. But yeah, no, looking back, it's like... Yeah, all the time I spent at the end of that LP was, were my least favorite parts of, like, the entire game. I did not like Sealed Temple, I don't think it's particularly good. Music's having a real hard time. I don't count this as a cool new glitch either. I am still not getting any cool glitches for these stream runs, which is very sad. I mean, I have the glitched life counter, and that's fine, I guess. But I want something like Obsidian Tales again. Heck, I'd even take just a revisit to Obsidian Tales. Just needs some oddity. I swear it happened. I swear I used to get all sorts of glitches. So I'm gonna go get Proton John to play this instead. Make him do it, he'll find something. Alright, well, I think that's about it for FF5. Good, solid game. If you're playing the game on your own, you don't have to bother with Sealed Temple, unless you're the type who really just wants to cover the, bonus bosses. Like, if that excites you, go for it, but, I don't think it's particularly worth it, and if I ever play FF5 again, which I probably will, it's a fun game and pretty quick to just run through on your own. You know, I will be happy just playing the main game and not Sealed Temple, ever. I'm not doing that ever. I have video footage of me doing it. If I really need to revisit it, that's what my non-com channel is for. That is literally the entire reason I made that in the first place. Alright, so let's see, what's after that? Slay the Princess, oh boy! So yeah, obviously that's a game that, I also played last year as well, but they did come out with a pristine cut, and yeah, no, that adds some pretty solid stuff. I've only seen some of it, too. Like, I don't know, how much is in there entirely, but I did not reach all of it. There were a decent amount of repeats, or at the very least things I could have done in the base game, in the stream. But, honestly, I just kinda like re-experiencing the game. That is worth it in of itself, and in fact, that could've gone bad. Yeah, re-experiencing the game is its own reward, and I'm actually disappointed that I completely skipped over the Razor. I'd say that's one of my favorites, but I think I could say that about a lot of the storylines. I don't think that is exactly unique to the Razor. But, you know, I did miss not playing it. But hey, we got to see what happens when we leave instead, and that was definitely unique to, Pristine Cuts. As is, the new ending for the Damsel. I've now seen a different ending for the Damsel, where you actually stab her at last second. And of course it's Slay the Princess, so like, it's still interesting even though it's a painful choice to do. It is worth it just to see things happen. That game never fails to be interesting, no matter what you choose, but I think also, I really like the new, path in the Damsel. Like, the ending where you just keep asking her, what do you want, and she just keeps getting worse and worse until reality itself just kind of bends and that's the end. Like, that was funny. I didn't dislike that as an ending. But also the follow-up to it, A, goes in really interesting directions for that last, or what was the last conversation. Could still be the last, you can still get that ending. But I think the Chapter 3 is just a really interesting follow-up. And genuinely just a really beautiful scene. Like, I love the way that plays out. Actually, I don't think I ever bothered with the, kind of going along with the damsel ending, but I've seen that one too. And honestly, that works pretty well alongside this new third ending. Because in that one, the narrator is just forced to put up with you just going all lovey-dovey, carrying the princess out, being all heroic. And he hates it so much, he's so mad. He just hates it the whole way through. But then, of course, in this new ending, which I guess I am spoiling, but it's fine, I streamed it, so whatever. You can watch that and then play Slay the Princess for yourself. But yeah, in the new ending, that's the one where he's actually like, you know what, actually, I'm happy for you. I kinda hate this and the world's going to end, but you know what, screw it. You go be happy for once. Just the whole dance, like, there's a reason I chose that for the— God damn it, I'm bad at dodging things this time. There's a reason I chose that for the end scene for this stream. Because otherwise I would have wound up choosing a blank screen again. But yeah, no, that was just genuinely a lovely moment. And, I can't say for certain that it's my favorite new content, because there's so much. The mad lads at Black Tabby Games just keep doing this, but I will say, I liked it a lot. As for the stream playthrough itself, you know, I did— God damn it. That was bad. As for the stream playthrough itself, you know, I did get the exact same ending, sure. Just, you know, with a slight variation. But it was important to me, damn it. I think it's really telling that the ending where like, you just go along with— oh shoot, I do not remember the princess's true name off the top of my head right now, but, yeah, the one where you go along with her, which normally would just, you know, be treated as the bad ending, and that's sort of where the tone wants to take you initially, of like, oh no, it's very scary, you better try to resist what she's doing, but like, you can just say, actually, yeah, screw it. Like, the entire game's been building up to this. Fuck the universe, let's get out of here. Like, that's still treated as an ending, and one that is, you know, not necessarily a bad result. You can find your own happiness like that, but, like, normally, if the ending were played off like that, I'd think that's cool as hell, and I do. But, like, that's not really the ending I wanted. I was less excited about that than going for the ending I did twice. But I think that just comes from how I interpret the main character of that game. So I see the end of my second loop, as it were, as more of a personal victory for our bird friend. Because even though the universe is going to continue and not too much has changed, I think just changing what I did in the ending was a lot more powerful for me personally. Like, I dug doing that, you know? I appreciated my choice, but I think a lot of the reason I came down to making the timeline reset thing is I was kind of staunchly against godhood for both of my runs in that game. Like, I never made a choice where I was particularly interested in godhood, and in fact, I went down a route where, the princess was ascending, and I still just had that moment of like, no, actually, I don't like this is causing me pain, please understand that you are causing me pain, which makes everything go kinda bad. But I did go back and check, and there's no way for that to, like, go to a secret. You actually do just escape ending, she still gets captured somehow, and in fact, it's actually kind of sad, because the nice thing about that ending is when she's being dragged down by hundreds of hands, she does actually try to send you out. While she's being dragged down, you know, try to give you a chance, and you still don't get there in time, but man, it's a really good ending. Like I said, they're very good at just making it so no matter what you choose, it's interesting. Oh, really? That wasn't enough? Man, I'm slacking on hits this time. But yeah, never super jazzed about Godhood. And I think overall, I and the player character I wound up interpreting really did just kind of like where they were. Like, obviously, I think my overall goal was I just want everybody to be happy, and that's simply not possible. I want to not have to slay the princess, but also I don't want to attain godhood. Like, I like the little voices in my head. I still love the moment at the end when you do that ending route, where the hero comes back. Like, that's so good. And also you get your most recent voice, that's so cool. I love that. And then you get to see the first princess. God, man. Ending rules. That's why I went for it twice, it's so good. I like the voices too much to want to leave them behind, and I want to escape the whole situation they're in, but I don't want to do it on those terms. So yeah, overall, factoring in both runs, I went from someone who was trying to be the neutral third party and just very bad at it to completely dejected at the start of this run. And then after that, it was, actually, maybe I want to help the princess. Maybe, I don't actually want to completely ignore her. And then kind of just going for the shortest routes overall. Towards the end, I kind of just kept going along with whatever the princess wanted, or whatever helped her escape. But yeah, no, I think the real beauty of those games is just, I don't think there's a run I could have been disappointed in, but also, I'm very excited for what I got. Though I'd still be hard-pressed to be a complete jerk for no reason during all the runs. Also, hello. But they still give you interesting possibilities for that as well. So yeah, no. I don't order my games of the year, but if I did make a list, that would be on it. Also, I only barely play more than 10 games in a year, so top 10 would be kind of weird. So let's see, playlist after that. Oh, Street Fighter 6. Okay, so Street Fighter 6 was, I think, a really fun experience. I think people, yeah, that's, like, the weirdest stream to jump in on. I hope you're enjoying me playing Sonic 3 casually, but also, I'm talking about me. Sorry. But yeah, Street Fighter 6, I think some people kinda... I'll have to decide that later. But yeah, Street Fighter 6, I think some people aren't the biggest fan of, World Tour. I think especially if you already know how to play fighting games pretty well, it's probably gonna be a little too slow-paced for your pace, but... Slow-paced for your pace, really? But as somebody who's not good at fighting games, I just think World Tour is actually a really smart idea. Like, yeah, no, lure me in with the promise of a create a character, and then teach me how to play fighting games a little better. Like, I'm definitely not an expert or anything, but I think I understand, you know, the mentality a bit better. Oh, there's that dastardly Knuckles again. Down I go. You can't scare me with this, I've got the fire shield. See? Look. Also, I got an extra life, which really kinda just muddled the tone of this. But anyway, yeah, Street Fighter 6 I found to be a lot of fun, and yeah, no, I think it's just kind of ingenious. Again, probably a little too slow for veterans, but for me, it was perfect. Get you better with fighting game mentality, and teach you how to play, and ease you into all of this. And also just give you a taste of each character and how they play by way of using your create a character. Very cool idea. I think the other thing about Street Fighter 6 is people aren't really, keen on... Oh god, what's the parry called? Because it's not called parry, it's, drive. Yeah, I don't think people are the biggest fans of how drive works, and with my limited fighting game experience, I can't really agree or disagree. I don't know how drive is compared to other fighting games, because I'm really only just starting to learn about them. I'm by no means an expert, but yeah, people aren't the biggest fan of that either, so, baseline for some people, SF6 isn't their favorite either. But ignoring that, yeah, no, I think this is a cool thing to introduce people to fighting games, and also just Street Fighter in general. Like, for lack of a better term, I'm a lot more interested in Street Fighter lore than I ever have been. Like, I've come down slightly from it, but I am still a lot more interested in Street Fighter and its characters than I was before playing the game. I think it's a really good window into that universe. Really dug it. So yeah, I just think it was a smart move. And also I got to pull a thing, similar to what I did in Saints Row with Morgan. Like, start with kinda just the disheveled nerd, and just make her super beefy later on in the game. And once again, changing your character in this game is super cheap, so like, I'm way more inclined to do it. I like being able to change the character over time, it's neat. Also, I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Meant to do that more often. But then I kept talking instead. But yeah, anything else in Street Fighter? I still think that the story overall is a little tonally weird, and I do kinda wish they pulled off a Saints Row, and just said, you get to make what the character looks like, but we're gonna determine what their character is a little more. Because they already kinda do with how all the cutscenes work. Like, there's a hint of a character with just enough wiggle room. I just want a voice, even if they don't really respond with anything specific. Like, yeah, let me make the backstory of the character. Don't tell me about this character's past, I'll make that up myself. But, let them say things at least. Uh-oh. But what if that didn't happen? Look, I just want to clown on Knuckles. I'm not here for an extra life. I just have to own that man. Also, it seems to be a set order, right? Yeah, that's what I got last time, so, let's try not to get back in the center. Gotta be strategic to clown on Knuckles this year. Alright, that's enough. Alright, so what's after Street Fighter 6? Oh, that's me going to another page. Alright, so let's see. So, let me just do this real quick. Okay, so what's next on the playlist? Oh, Mega Man X8. Yeah, no, solid game. Talked about it very recently, so I don't really feel like I have much to add to it. It would be one of the weaker X stories. Like, the middle of it would be one of the weaker stories. I don't think it does that much, interesting until, like, the very end. In terms of all the next generation Reploid stuff and the copy chips and all that. So, if not for the fact that X6 exists, I think I'd rank X8 as, like, the lowest story of that era of X. Because X5 did cool things, X7 was kind of surprising, X4 is X4, so, like, yeah, of course, that's good. That's the absolute best of those storylines, I'd say. But in terms of gameplay, though, like, there wasn't any, there are no hacks available for X8, to my knowledge, but it didn't really need them. Like, in terms of base mechanics, did about everything it could have. And really, the biggest problems I have are just the vehicle sections, and I don't think a hack could have fixed that, honestly. Like, they'd be really hard-pressed to make the vehicle sections, like, good. Oh god. This is the year where Tails tries to ruin everything. He keeps calling security, he popped my balloons, and now he's trying to make platforms crumble before I can get on them. Tails? Tails, you can fly, you don't need to destroy platforms. You don't need to rush, Tails, you're fine. Okay, and here's where I'm going to save state, because I'm embarrassingly bad at the Sonic 1 first boss. That was particularly bad even for me. Still the best Metal Sonic design. Still terrible at this boss. God damn it. See, now at least I'm at the part where I'm normally bad at it. Where it's just... out of everything in the Sonic series, I can't deal with a pendulum. God damn it. Ugh. Once again, I must show how bad I am at the first boss of the first game. God damn it. I'm just being impatient is the issue. Okay, see, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, but less badly this time. It's way easier over here anyway. See, you just have to jump in such a way that you repel off of him at the wrong moment. Pendulum, I mean, for platforming, yes. For bosses... I don't think any of the other bosses pendulum like the ball and chain does. I'll skip that. Anyway, that interrupted me completely. What was I reminiscing on? Oh right, X8. Yeah, the vehicle sections aren't great. That's all I really have to add, but... you know, definitely best iteration of the team mechanics in the latter X games. Like, yeah, no, I really like the way that game plays at a baseline. It's just, again, for the most part, when they put you in vehicles, or really force you in vehicles, the usual ride armor is fine. Oh, no. I'm definitely bad at this boss, but to be fair, this one's actually tricky. So I'm gonna cheat. Yeah, this is just the Metropolis Zone boss. So, you know, that's actually late game, so at least it's understandable that I'd be bad at it. Let's deactivate this. I don't particularly need anything. Oh, well. Tails, I didn't really need the repeat. I don't need to be here. Ah, damn it, really? Fire shield. Anyway, though, anything else about X8, or is that kinda it? Yeah, I've already kinda gone over X8 in depth recently, like, twice, so... I'm just like, I can just let that one lie, though, right? See, this here's a pendulum, and I can deal with that. It's just, for some reason, first boss, first game, I'm so goddamn garbage at. Though I did way better when I was actually patient for it. Like, that's what the first boss is trying to teach you, just like, jump off of enemies correctly. Then it's no problem. It's just for some reason, I have a weird level of impatience for that. Tails? Tails? We need to have a talk, Tails. Tails, I didn't see you destroy that, but I know it was you. It couldn't have been anyone else, Tails. It couldn't have been. It wouldn't be. Anyway, so let's see, after that, playlist after that is Saints Row 2. So yeah, I very much enjoy that game. It's kind of obvious, cause, you know, going into it, again, I said it earlier, but, I just gave that game way more breathing room. Actually, you know what? It's still kind of early yet. I want to kind of give this a legit try. For the most part, I want to style on most things, but you know what? Metal Sonic deserves something this year. But yeah, Saints Row 2, very fun game, very solid, just... very good, character work with the boss. So much more interesting since she actually speaks. And it is a very interesting tale of, hey, what if, the 2 graves you dug when getting revenge were for everybody else, not you? What if revenge worked out fine? What if you killed a CEO in broad daylight, and just got away with it, and also got to do a merger in the next game? But yeah, no, just very, very good storyline, and yeah, just everything about it is pretty much just Saints Row 1, but better. From the missions to the activities. And cutscene quality is better. Has some pretty good choreography, too, on a lot of just good, enjoyable cutscenes. And that did, in fact, just finish up yesterday, actually. So that's a recent thing that is extremely recent. Cause yeah, no, yesterday was the second DLC, which, yeah, a bit more engaging than the first DLC. And man, if there's any character I'm disappointed in, it is Dex. Though, admittedly, I did really enjoy the moment I thought to use the Mike is a cheater bit for the description. I just wish I had thought of that sooner, so I could have actually said that. I know who you are. I know where you are. So you better start changing your ways. Or changing your name. Sorry, I did actually have to put my hands together in prayer for that. The bit's not correct unless you do. I gotta be legit, even if I interrupt myself playing the game. Oh yeah, Death Egg? Yeah, Death Egg's pretty solid, or pretty tough, rather. Though, to this day, I still think it is one of my favorite final stages in a Sonic game. Very, very good song, very good background. Great atmosphere. But yeah, Saints Row 2, anything else? I kinda wish I'd given the soundtrack of Saints Row 1 more of a shot, but... Look, I'm gonna level with you. I still don't think I'd care for it that much. 2's a different story. Soundtrack to 2 is great, and actually... I'm still kinda going through the library for... 3rd. But I might like it more than Saints Row 3rd's, OST. Just got a... Damn it, good, song lineup. Oh, here's where... Oh! Didn't really want to use this here. Although, I guess if I'm here, I might as well just... ride this out. God. Really gotta put an epilepsy warning on these. Cause that is a lot of flashing. So many flashing lights. It's one of those, it's uncomfortable for me to look at. And I don't have epilepsy, so I don't have to worry about it, but... it's not an enjoyable experience to have to look at those things. But yeah, no, Saints Row 2, pretty solid follow-up to the first game. Does everything it kinda wanted to do, but better. But also stands on its own pretty well. That was the second Saints Row game I played after 4, and I enjoyed it on its own merits without that. God damn it. Tried to... I think I just have to go the long way around. Alright, so let's see, what's after that? There we go. Yep. That doesn't count as a fun glitch either, I just got kinda stuck. Anyway, though, let's see. Next, playlist, on here is... oh, Dragon Quest IV, so... one that, I'm involved in, but not leading on. So... you know, kinda calling back to, playing games and watching them as a different thing. But, Dragon Quest IV is a fun experience to watch. In terms of things that... are actually uploaded, we're still pretty early on in Chapter 2, so like there's a bunch of stuff that can't really talk much about... oh god, it's this boss. Nope. Nope, I refuse. I will never do this boss legit. God, that's a mini-boss. But anyway, yeah, currently, recording-wise, we're partway through, Chapter 3, which gets real wild. We're currently at, a section where... in order to make progress, you have to make some pretty dumb decisions. You just, you know, keep doing things, and it's probably not a good idea that you keep doing things, but you do them anyway, because there's only one set of event flags. Nope, I want that. But so far, we've briefly seen the main character. And we've seen Ragnar McRyan, fantastic name, and we're partway through Elena. Elena, who has an actual entourage, unlike Ragnar, who goes it alone. And the hero, who we've not seen much of, which... Probably what... Wait. I didn't know this was here. Okay, cool. Well, there's a cache of stuff there. Also... I'm gonna cheat a little bit right here, because I want to keep the shield for as long as possible. So, you know... just make sure I don't lose it, because the boss here, sucks a lot. But anyway, though, yeah, you know, one thing, that we have passed already, that I'm interested in seeing how it's gonna look is the fact that, in the original version of the game, because Loka's playing the, DS version, Chapters of the Chosen, yeah, with party chat, in the original, you don't actually meet the main character at all until later, which... kinda interested to see how that plays out. Like, it's weird that you name a character and then don't play as them, but like, I don't know. Would be kinda neat to sort of keep your character a mystery until you just reach a certain point and then, oh goddammit, you know what? I don't like him sliding into my DMs like that, how dare he? Jerk. Oh, two of them! Two of them. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like... I'm sure it's probably a necessity overall, I'm sure it's not that amazing that... of a main character reveal. But it's certainly a different tone, or I guess setup, to just be like, alright, name yourself. Alright, now you're playing as Ragnar. Why did you name yourself? Don't worry about it. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Let's see, what's after that? Oh, Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, so not much to say about that one, because I literally just started it. Only a few episodes in. I think the most I have to say I already joked about. I think what that game has been doing well so far is really ratcheting up tension in a given moment. Like, they made dealing with a medical crew incredibly intimidating. I got my order of operations backwards when doing that. Just because they were shouting at me to just like, hey, go in that spot. And I'm like, is it this spot? No, that's the spot where vehicles go. But I'm just like, I gotta make quick decisions. It is certainly not my usual style. Yeah, I mean, I talked at length about Slay the Princess, that's more my usual style, where it's just like, yeah, here are your dialogue options, you get as long as you want to think about them, we're not gonna hassle you whatsoever about these. Oh god damn it, it's the boss. Alright, time for this jerk. Hate you so much. Anyway though, yeah, do think it does a good job there. Very, very tense, especially since, you know, you have to choose the dialogue on the spot. You don't get that time to kind of sit around and contemplate your options, so it's certainly a much different style of play that I'm used to. So I'm, you know, having to get used to that, but definitely not a bad feeling exactly. Just unusual. Oh god, this is gonna hit me. Yep. Knew that would happen. This boss. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it. Just because I am so early on. Oh, wow, did this first try, nice. Alright, here I go. I'm gonna push ya. Alright, well, you know what time it is. So, I've gotta flip a coin. Let's see, I got one right here. It's sort of a coin, well... it's coin enough. So I'm gonna say this is heads, this is tails. So we're going to say heads is punk rock, tails is middle finger. Okay. That's tails, so... Right. This year... Eggman's gonna be flipping the dice. Alright, come on, get in here. Go on, Robotnik, come on. I almost botched that first jump. Nope, tails. Tails! Tails, I swear to God. Tails, it was a coin decision, you cannot go back on the coin decision. See, that finger's fine to fight. You can do that one. Okay, we've got him flipping us off once. And there we go. There, see, now he's flipping us off. It's kinda hard to tell when he doesn't have the rest of his fingers or a hand, but he is flipping us off now. There we go. Alright, and now the hard part. I mean, I'll attempt to do this legit, but I'm not really too... I thought I'd get hit before I fell off, but nope, down I go. You know, that's actually really not that bad. See, I thought that was incredibly hard when I was a kid, but it's not too bad. Actually pretty easy. That's not nearly as bad as a jump as it looks. Alright, let's see. Get you. I can't believe I bounced! There we go. Alright, and now Doomsday time. Anything else on this list? Nope. Other than Star Force, DX, and... of course, Persona 5 Royal. I said this was a year of long projects, and there's the longest one right there. Been playing that one since January, and I will be playing it for a little while longer. But I am getting close to the end, in Okamura's palace. So, you know, kinda towards the end there. Got a little while left to go, sure, but kinda blazing through the, actual fight sections anymore, so that's good. Getting close to done on a lot of the, hangouts as well. I have maxed out my stats too, so a pretty good chunk of the way through there. But yeah, no, certainly not the Atlas game that everybody is playing this year. Most people are just going like, oh yeah, Metaphor, it's great, and I'm just like, well, have y'all heard of a little game called Persona 5? Oh, you have? Because it's years old? Oh well. But you know, I've been enjoying myself, and, you know, definitely a pretty good, solid, job on the mod of it. The female Joker mod's pretty great. And it's really the reason I went with this stream in the first place. Like, yeah, no, I want to play F-Joker, but... You know, in addition to year-long projects, it's also secretly the trans year, because... just the way that game is kind of incomplete in many spots means that, like... Yeah, there's kind of a trans narrative going on there, like... A lot of people still just use, he/him pronouns for Joker. Just kind of by necessity, just because of how the game works and is coded. But you know, I feel like it accidentally lends itself to a pretty good storyline. I've been enjoying that aspect of it. Like, it would be better if it were quote-unquote complete at some point. You know, just as many instances of reference to the player corrected as possible. Like, that would be for the best, but, you know, it's not that many people. I think it's just one person and, you know, a few people to help them. The voice actress, of course, that they got for the English version. So, small project. Or small team for a big project. So, I understand it, but I think technically it would be ideal for it to be as correct as it could be. But I don't mind playing it in the state it's in. I kind of enjoy that. Really lends itself, well to the story about, you know, the othering that a lot of people experience, but nonetheless they want to help people even if society at large kind of hates them. I think it helps in that regard. But yeah, it's a project that has not yet wrapped up, so I don't really have final thoughts of it, but I'm enjoying it. And it's kind of nice to actually be able to play Persona 5. I've seen it a few times, but yeah, actually playing it's neat. I still think it's pretty solid, even though honeymoon phase is kind of over on it. A lot of people are a little more harsh on it, and I get it, there are definitely some rough patches to it. And there's certainly some cutscenes that I've skipped. I mean, don't exist, what are you talking about? Two gay men hitting on Ryuji for a comedy bit? No, that hasn't happened, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that is, of everything, the longest singular project I'm doing at the moment. Technically, Saints Row is also very long because even though I thought I wouldn't, I am going to be playing the third game. I am just gonna get around to 3 and 4, actually, because as it turns out, I really love these games and I kinda wanna keep playing them. And so far, I have not regret that in the slightest. I've enjoyed my time in Steelport. But, yeah, in terms of singular things, Persona 5 is going, and it will keep going for a little while longer. And, yeah, game clearing is definitely going to go to something shorter next time it's open. Next time I have one of these open, I'm gonna beeline for... I don't know, I have not beaten the original Portal, actually. I've beaten 2, but not 1. But also I own it on Steam, and I don't know how that happened. I don't remember buying it. I do remember getting Half-Life 2 for free, like a month or so ago. But I don't remember getting Portal for free for buying it. So, don't know where that came from, but it is a thing I could play that would be way, way shorter than Persona 5. And the only other thing on this list is Mega Man Star Force DX, which, very early on in that one as well, but really enjoying kind of looking at it again, because I have not played any of the games since I was a kid. So, like, you know, not nearly as analytical as I am now. Yeah, I just found, I played the game, I thought it was fun, I thought the characters were neat, didn't really think too deeply about it, but, you know, as much as people sometimes, you know, get on the case of anything that does, I guess, power of friendship as its sort of, core thing, you know, it can be heavy-handed, but things can also do them well, and I'm really enjoying Star Force's setup so far. I think, it is a game about reaching out to people, and the difficulty of it. Like, we've got a main character who does not want to interact with the world, and the world's kind of forcing itself upon him. And, you know, there's difficulties associated with that, because he's not necessarily willing to go along with it, but it's clear he needs something better in his life, because Gio's not in a healthy position. But we've also had a character who's been worried about his status amongst his friends and terrified of rejection. And now we currently have an arc villain who is in a very similar position to Geo. He doesn't like making friends, he's not good at it, except his problem is he was betrayed specifically. I don't know, I guess I'll just run through this or something. Go for Knuckles, I never play as him. Alright, fine then. I don't know why they split screen this even if you're playing single player. It's so weird. I guess probably they didn't have the actual, like, resources to make this full screen. They did not, in fact, make this to be full screen in the first place. So, you know, the sprite size is the way it is. Anyway, though, yeah, also, the Star Force starts with a satellite that's trying to reach out to aliens disappearing suddenly, so... You know, that's kind of a tone setter there. Just what they try to do there. Just, hey, these people tried to, reach up. Knuckles has died. These people tried to reach out and something went horribly wrong. We don't know what it is, but something went wrong. So yeah, I'm actually really enjoying the setup to this game. I think it's gonna be a pretty strong one overall. Look forward to seeing the rest of it. Oh, I guess we're just going through all of them. I keep forgetting you have to stop at first. But yeah, that, I guess, is year in review. And another good run of Sonic 3. Just would not be the holiday if I didn't play Sonic 3. And we'd probably all be engulfed in some sort of exploding sun. Is it ours necessarily? I don't know, maybe. Maybe not. God damn it. Oh, these balloons suck. Yeah, I never play this mode. Could you tell? But yeah, no, just, as always, a delight to just really casually run through this game. I mean, I don't know if it's the best platformer ever made, but I know it's my favorite one. Oh god. Everybody else is playing their Shadow Generations, but me, I'm playing Sonic 3. I do actually have to get around to playing Shadow Generations at some point. Everybody loves it. The worst I've heard is the side missions can get a little bit annoying at times, and that's just it. The rest is all really solid, so gotta get around to that eventually. Alright, well, I'd go through with the rest of these, but I don't particularly want to, because again, I don't play this mode, and that's for a reason. I don't think it's the best multiplayer, and I'm not playing it multiplayer, so... Yeah, it's just kind of this. So yeah, I guess that is, 2024 wrapped up, for the most part. I've still got a few streams left, so you can look forward to seeing a bit more of Star Force on Thursday, 7 to 9, more Persona 5 Royal, 9 to 11 on Saturday, and then next Tuesday, we'll be back to Cyberpunk 2077, and that will also be the 31st, won't it? Yeah, so, that'll also be the last stream of the year. And then... Other than that, you can catch the VODs on YouTube. I'm Theft Masamune on there, and hey, guess what? There are sometimes LPs there as well. Though, like, everything else, I'm kind of winding down for the year, so... The only thing left is an episode of, Saints Row. Got a special episode of kind of a spin-off thing that never technically saw the light of day. That'll be up, New Year's Eve. And, that's it. Otherwise, everything returns in 2025, so the first episode of Mega Man X Command Mission will be up that following Monday. Saints Row 3 will actually upload the day after the spin-off uploads, because, you know, I figured, why not? I've got a backlog. God, I cannot make it into that space in particular. Enter the hole, Knuckles. Come on, do it. Stop getting stuck. There we go. Well, that's a terrible time. But yeah, there's that. Saints Row the 3rd will... God, there's so many courses here. We'll start that Wednesday. And then Friday will be the... next Dragon Quest IV. That is, of course, not this Friday, but the one after it. Alright, and yeah, that's it. Oh, and you can support me on Patreon or Ko-fi if you want to. I'm Pfeffer on both the sites, and you can find links easy enough in the Twitch bio, or underneath the YouTube videos. There we go, now I've got all the plugs. I guess at this point I might as well see this through, because this is an easy course at least. But yeah, that's it. Have a good Christmas if that's what you celebrate, and if not, I think all the other holidays are still pretty soon after this, so... No matter what, it's a week for holidays to happen, so hopefully you enjoy whatever you celebrate. Didn't get hit there somehow. God, there's just so many. Yeah, I'm gonna quit now. I'm sorry, Knuckles. I'm just not interested in your adventures in two-player mode. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the main game. Here for Sonic 3. It's a necessity. That being said, Endless Mine is a good song. See, Knuckles is dancing to it. Look at him go. Back, and forth, and back, and forth. Anyway, though, have a good night, y'all, and I'll see you next time.